Okay, I'm back. I had a technical issue with the recording going on right behind here, and I would like to record this as well. And of course, my password needed to reset. So I hopped off the live. I'm back on live, so we should be good to go. Hopefully, whoever is still trying to jump back on can jump back on. So today's live is going to also be a podcast. So I have a podcast called Courageous and Free with Jacqueline Mack. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I'm doing a lot of the episodes masterclass style. So it's like free integrative work, free activation work, not just on there to chat and talk about some things that sound great, but actually things you can do to integrate to cause the shifts, the transitions, the transformation you're desiring to feel on all levels of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual side of your whole beingness, right? Because we are cells and a soul. And my background has been many, many years in multiple spaces. So today I'm actually going to jump into the 4 things that are holding you stuck or keeping you stuck, holding you hostage, more say. And those 4 things are really have to do with anything in life. This could be stuck in your health, stuck in your happiness, stuck in, the financials that you allow into your life, the financials that are flying out into the world from your life. This goes with anything, your relationships, your love life, your connectivity, work, personal life, any area you feel stuck. It always boils down to these 4 things that are within your control. And if you don't know what's in your control or are confused on what's in your control or not in your control, go back and listen to the other episode I did on the things that are in your control and the things that are not in your control. And you will free yourself from so many other things that you can let go of that you've been trying to hold on to. And this is coming from a recovering control freak right here. Moi. And it still tries to stop me. It doesn't stop me all the time, but there are things that I do try to control that are out of my control. And when I see myself starting to go into that pattern, I start laughing. And that is one way I don't allow myself to get stuck in those old patterns, right? So the first thing, well, let me touch base on this. Other people say it's X, Y, or Z that has them stuck, and they're basically giving their power away. They're saying, because this happened to me, or this person said this, or this person did this, or I, committed to X, Y, or Z, business, personal life, this is now my reality, right? And this is just as good as it gets. And if you believe that, you're right. And if you don't want to believe that anymore, you're right. And you can free yourself from that. So this is the excuses separates the victors from the victims. And the excuses will hold us in the victimhood place. And now, don't get me wrong, there are crazy challenges that happen to people, for people during their lifetime. And this is why you hear the amazing stories of people overcoming some of their greatest challenges in life. And it's one triumph after another triumph after another triumph because they're so freaking resilient. So that first thing is, do you even know who you are? Do you even know who you are? Are you very clear, aware, confident in being and becoming who you are? Like who you are at the core, your truth, your highest self, not who you are. I'm a mom and I do things because I'm a mom. I'm a wife and I do these things because I'm a wife. Or I'm a coach because I do these things because I'm a coach. Or I go to work and I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a dentist, I'm a teacher, I'm a all the hats you could wear. But who are you? Strip away the layers of the roles you play and who are you at the core. I did another live video actually just this afternoon about who I am. And I realized not a lot of people truly know who I am. My best friends know who I am. My husband knows who I am. My parents think they know who I am because they knew who I was when they were raising me as a person finding themselves, right? But over the past 2 decades, I've evolved so many times over and over and over that I can't go back to some of those old relationships that have just fizzled away and show up with this person because they're like, wait, I thought you were this, but now you're showing up like this, which is okay. But I'm just telling you, we're always evolving, or we're dying, or going, regressing, I guess is the best way to put it. So who are you at the core? Are you clear? Are you confident? Are you secure in who that is? And if you are someone, or you label yourself as something that you don't love or doesn't light you up, why? Then why are you allowing that to define who you are? Because you don't have to, you get to choose. And this is real integrative, activative work. The more you sit with this, the more you get it out without judgment, making yourself feel right or wrong, good or bad, and just letting your heart speak and getting out of our head. Because again, our head is 80% of the battle, can be so limiting, especially if we don't love where we're at. We're feeling a lot of resistance and a lot of stuckness. We can really be leaning into the old ways of being that are like super strong, hardwired neurons, because they've been firing and wiring and firing and wiring and firing and wiring for decades. This is for those who are watching. You could be, whether you're in your 20s, that's 2 decades, 30s, 3 decades, 4 decades, 50 decades. That's a lot of time. Those neurons are going to be super, super strong and tight, and they control our belief systems and our patterns, right? So who are you is number one. If you're not clear on who you are, then check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you're the only one that can declare if you're stuck or not stuck, or you're the victim or the victor. Number two is getting clear on what you even want. Like if you're stuck and you want something, that's usually what stuck means. Like, I want to be here, but I'm here. I want a promotion, but I'm stuck in this position. I want to quit this job, but I can't because I'm stuck. I'm dependent on the benefits and the comfort of the salary or whatever that might be. I'm stuck being a stay-home mom because that's what I signed up for 5, 10, 15 years ago, 1, 2, 3, 5 kids later, and I'm just stuck being this person, right? But were you ever clear on what you really wanted? Like what in your truest of all desires, deepest desires, really desire, not just wanted because it looked good or sound good or a bestie had it, or you saw something on social media, but like it pulled you from the core. Like, yeah, I want that. I desire that. And I want to feel all the things that is going to do for me, right? So if you're not clear on who you are, you're not clear on what you want, now you understand why you're just kind of digging the stuck hole. You're like, oh, yep, I'm definitely stuck. And the third is why. The most important part of this is why. If you can't figure out who you are or what you even want, why are you even here? Why do you want this? What feeling is it going to bring you? Is it really a desire, or is it just a want, right? Because there's a lot of things I want. Like I would love a Chanel purse. I would love to have a couple, vehicles of my biggest dreams, right? Or a couple vacation homes that I can rent out right now. And that may come in time and it may not. It's not a desire that's like burning in me, but they're wants. But they could be your desires, right? You could say, I want 50 homes. I'll be like, holy crap, no way. I don't want 50 homes. I don't care if they were all rental properties. That might freak someone like me out, or might not, depending on what stage I am in my life. But why? Like, what do you want to do with those 50 homes? Do you want to just have them because you can go to them anytime you want to? Or do you want to rent them out for free to women who escaped, domestic violence, and they have children and they're getting back on their feet, and you want to give them a year worth of a safe place to live and raise their children while they get back on their feet and figure out who they are, what they want, why they want it. Like, is that what you want to do with those 50 homes? Because that's like, wow, that would even light me up to want to participate, right? So getting clear on who you are, getting clear on what you want and why you want it. Because you can have it all. You can be a stay-at-home mom and still have a career. Yes, you can, especially now. Everybody's proven that since the pandemic. You can work from home. I've been working from home since 2008, before it was freaking cool, right? And now it's cool and you can do that. And there's so much luxury and richness to that beyond the financial side, like luxury and richness to your life of being able to take some time back and invest it into those things that lights you up, that you love to invest your time into. Mine is my children and my spouse and my morning, routine, and meeting up with girls in the evening and having dinners and cocktails and girls' weekends. And it's not like I have to choose anymore. I get to do both. And I used to tell myself I had to choose. I'm like, where did that come from? Who told me I had to choose? I come from a family that, at least grandparents, that were very abundant. And they would always give. They still give generously to their children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. But it was always kind of like, I felt like people needed it, right? So it was like a need. I need to have this. I need the support. But it's like, do you? Do you? And at the end of the day, we can always come back to, wow, no, I get to. I get to. We have our basic needs. Don't get me wrong. Those need to be met. But there is a difference between needs, wants, and desires. And when we can get clear on who we are, what we want, and why we want it, then we got to take, this is the step 4. This is the 4th thing, I guess not the step. The 4th thing that's holding you stuck or holding you back is who or what you're giving your power away to. I'm letting that sink in. Who or what are you giving your power away to? Whoa, that's why you're stuck. Are you giving your power away to that position at that company because it's comfortable? Are you giving your power away to money because this is just what comes in and this is just what goes out and this is just the way life is? So this is just why I'm going to be stuck. This is just the way it is. Are you giving your power away to somebody else? A teacher from the 3rd grade, which this isn't me personally, this is what I've heard from my clients. Another mentor or a coach or a parent or a friend, an ex-friend or an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend that you said something and they said something back, and now you have a limiting belief and you believe this is just it. You're never going to amount to anything else because you were never worthy in the first place. Ouch. Ouch. So who and what are you giving your power away to? And if you're still giving your power away to those people or those things or those old thought patterns, time to build the boundaries. Time to build the boundaries. I've had to do this multiple times as a contracting coach and consultant. And when those boundaries were crossed, it was time for me to move on. I loved a lot of those positions dearly. I love the people I worked with dearly. Actually, I have some really good friends that I've met through a lot of my contracting positions dearly. But when boundaries were crossed, I had to move on. So, and I had to go create bigger boundaries and say, well, if you're not going to respect this boundary, then this boundary is happening. I'm cutting the ties, right? So who are you? What do you want? More importantly than what you want, why do you want it? And I'm telling you, if it doesn't root, if the why doesn't root in more blissful happiness and freedom to be authentically you, check again, go deeper. Check again and go deeper. That why should instill and activate some feeling of freedom, of opening, expansion, and or blissful happiness, right? So there's a couple things that you can do when you're stuck. One is my AAA method. This is something that I created probably 10 years or more ago. I can't even keep track now. AAA, if you think about it, when you're stuck on the side of the road, who do you call? AAA. But in this case, you're not calling AAA. You're leaning in and trusting yourself. AAA stands for a couple different things here. And I give access to my AAA method free to anybody who does any of my master classes. By the way, if you're listening now in real time, March 2022, the Ultimate Freedom Masterclass is free. And it's at the end of March, and you'll have access to the recordings for a limiting time, but it will be free. So I highly recommend going and joining. Now, before I jump into the 3 little steps of AAA, because each A stands for something and you can do it anywhere, anytime. It'll help you from getting unstuck every single time. Here's what it also helps with. It benefits overcoming uncertainty and self-doubt, never feeling stuck again, no more shoulding on yourself, no more coulding on yourself, all those things that don't feel good, decrease or eliminate anxiety. Who's had a lot of anxiety in the past few years, months, weeks, or decades? Increase your self-confidence, increase the clarity, increase the connection to yourself, source, your truest self, God, universe, whoever you believe in, manifest more of what you desire and deserve, and also manifesting in the way of not just woo-woo-ness, but in alignment to your purpose, your intention of what you want, and deciding only then that's what it is that you're going to do that serves you and what you want. Decreasing decision fatigue, or even eliminate it completely. We make so many decisions every day. Some days you make more than others, and those days you're probably even more exhausted, especially if you have a very busy career that has you on multiple responsibilities of meetings and people and things like that, projects. A lot of decision fatigue can happen there. And there's so many health benefits when it comes to decreasing this decision fatigue. You're sleeping better, you have less stress, you're decreasing the oxidative stress, which causes inflammation at the cellular level. And there's a lot that can go on from there. So there's a couple more things, but let's just, for time's sake, I'm going to just jump into the 3 steps. The first step of the AAA method is awareness. Being aware that there's some resistance. Things aren't feeling good, whether you feel stuck and it's just crappy and you're bawling your eyes out, or it's just like, meh, it's just a meh kind of situation, right? But being aware of that so you can just stop and pause and check in with the AAA method. So awareness is step 1, super simple step. Takes less than a second to be aware. Unless you're bawling your eyes out, let yourself bawl your eyes out. That takes a few minutes or whatnot. Release that energy. The second step is assessing the situation with no judgment. And if you are lit up because of somebody doing something to you, like AAA method could be used even when you're in a traffic jam, right? It's actually highly recommended to use it in a traffic jam, because if somebody cuts you off, do not react. Do not react. Just assess the situation. Non-judgment. Don't make that person right or wrong. Don't make yourself right or wrong. Just assess. No judgment. What just happened? What's in my control? What's not in my control? What would my highest self do? Oh, I could do this, this, or this. Okay, 5 things like my highest self could do. What would I do right now, not my highest self? Oh, this, 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 and this. Which one feels better? Well, wait, maybe you shouldn't ask yourself that question, which one feels better? Which one feels better should be actually your highest self. But if you're not used to hanging out with your highest self, with living from here, your highest self, your soul, then the other things might feel more fun or more comfortable, because that's what's been firing and wiring for so long up in our brains, right? So you assess the situation, and then we take aligned action. Aligned action is intentional. Aligned action is something that suits who you are. So again, if you're not clear on who you are, it's hard to take aligned action, because you'll never know when it feels like it's lighting you up, or you do, but it's very rare. Okay, so that's the 3 steps to the AAA method. At any time you need to use it when you're feeling stuck, anxious, worry, coulda, shoulda, woulda, decisions, not sure which decision to take, undecisive, things like that. So it's being aware, assessing without judgment, taking aligned action. All the time you have the choice to take that next step. And if you took action before doing the AAA method, you can go back and correct it. You can always choose again, pretty much. There isn't many situations where I've had someone say, I couldn't do that again. I can't go back and replay that or reverse what I have done in most cases. Okay. So that's what you can do. And the other thing you can do, like I said before, that can get people feeling a little uncomfortable, right? The AAA method. And like I said, people have access to it if they join any of my master classes. And I'm always investing in activations and integrations that serve my highest future self now, because I'm living out that person now, not someday when, but now. I'm always evolving and growing, because that's what we do. That's what we're here for. That's called living versus existing. I don't just want to sit here the rest of my life and watch people live their lives on social media or on YouTube. I mean, there's lots of people, I guess, that do that. But to me, that's not living. And those aren't my people. And most people, not the top 10% people, are not comfortable with being uncomfortable. A lot of the things I just shared with you feels very uncomfortable if you're doing that for the first time. If you're asking yourself who you are for the first time, seems a little weird. It's like, well, who am I? Duh. I've been this person my whole life. Well, but have you? Oh, what do I want? Well, duh, this, and this. But is that what really lights you up? Is that what you really want? Or is that what you want because they have it and they have it and they have it? or your parents told you you should have it, or your grandma said you should do this, or blah, 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 blah. A teacher, a credential, a degree on the wall, right? And then why? We as we're evolving and growing, that why could evolve and grow and change. And it should. It might expand in a capacity of where it is or where it started from, like a seed of a tree expands into the beautiful, monstrous rooted tree, or it could totally metamorph and transform into something else. And you get to choose, and you get to be okay with that. But what's behind and driving the forces of all of this? Your beliefs. Like I said before, the person that you are is a direct reflection of the beliefs that you have. You believe that you can, you're right. You believe that you can't, you're right. It's that simple. So if you're in a position where you're like, I'm stuck, I can't freaking tie my shoe, I can't tie my shoe, I can't tie my shoe, I can't go running because I can't tie my shoe. Okay, you're right. I mean, and I use this exercise with my toddlers all the time. Oh, you can't do that? Well, you sounds like you can't do that. That's what you're saying. Oh yeah, mommy, sorry. I can do it. I can do it. Next thing you know, boom, they can do it. Literally, just like that. Literally, anything, right? So listen to yourself. What are you saying in your mind? What do you believe to be true? Because that's going to be true. If you want it to be different, you need to shift and catch yourself. You need to get aware, you need to be present. Use the AAA method. Use some of the other tactics I just mentioned earlier in the 4 steps. Who are you giving that power away to? Don't leave it up to chance. Don't leave it up to chance. Don't live in the past. It's over. I've had some amazing memories in my past that I would love to re-experience. I have some amazing memories that were super amazing in the moment that I have no desire to relive again. And I can't live too far in the present because it's not here yet, but I can show up as my best version of myself now in the present moment and start to feel what it feels like to already be, do, have, and experience those things. And that's fun. That's exciting. That's living versus existing. And envisioning living your future self now is the key, but not at the cost of hustling and grinding. Not at the cost of hustling and grinding to that next thing. Do not forget to enjoy the process. Do not forget to enjoy the journey. Do not forget to benefit from what you get to experience in the journey. You get to do that. It's not that you have to, but you get to. And I have to remind myself daily because I can get caught up in hustling and grinding to the next thing because it's so exciting, and the next thing and the next thing. And even the hustling and grinding can be exciting at times. It can also be very draining and exhausting at times. So when you think you're stuck, or that's just the way that it is now or forever, stop and think about these 4 things. And if it seems super overwhelming, because there's going to be challenges in life where it is breathtaking overwhelm, anxiety, and that's real. That's real. You can stop and ask yourself, if this was not true, what is, or what would be? Because most of the time, overwhelm and anxiety is predicting something in the future that hasn't even happened yet. And we're robbing ourselves of permission to choose now in this moment to make sure those things don't happen yet or even ever. So I want to leave you with this. I want to send you with so much love. Until next time, mwah, make it a great day. Actually, allow it to be a great day. Bye for now.